There are some Nollywood movies that entertain you, and there are some that touch your heart in ways you never expected. Mama and Me falls into the second category. This movie is emotional, dramatic, sometimes funny, and deeply reflective about family, motherhood, abandonment, and forgiveness. If you have ever wondered what it feels like to grow up without love from the person who was supposed to love you the most, then this movie will hit you hard. But before we dive in, this movie review is based on content from the movie Mama and Me on Flicks. All credit goes to the original creators and producers of the film. Now, let's talk about this powerful story. The story begins with pain. The opening with a heartbreaking confession from a young girl named Abumchi. She writes in her diary that she believes her mother does not love her. That alone sets the tone for the entire movie. From the very beginning, we see a girl who feels unwanted. She says something that many viewers will probably pause and think about. Did I ask to be born? That line alone summarizes the emotional weight of the story. Abumchi lives with a woman named Rosetta, a single mother who constantly mistreats her. She shouts at her, insults her, starves her, and treats her more like a burden than a child. Instead of caring for her daughter, Rosetta spends most of her time chasing after a man named Willie, who clearly has no respect for her. And honestly, watching those scenes will make you frustrated, because the audience quickly realizes something. Rosetta is sacrificing her child's well-being for a man who doesn't even want her. A mother who chooses a man over her child. One of the most painful aspects of the movie is how Rosetta treats Abumchi. There are moments where Abumchi washes an entire wardrobe of clothes while hungry, only for her mother to give the only available food to Willie. That scene alone will make viewers angry. Instead of supporting her daughter's education, Rosetta even refuses to pay Abumchi's school fees. When the girl begs to go back to school, Rosetta tells her something shocking. She plans to send Abumchi away to work as a housemaid. Imagine hearing that as a child. Instead of dreaming of becoming a doctor, lawyer, or engineer, your own mother wants you to become a servant in someone else's house. It's heartbreaking. The secret that changes everything. As the story unfolds, Abumchi begins to question her identity. Why does her mother hate her so much? Why does Rosetta always avoid answering questions about her father? Eventually, Abumchi confronts Rosetta directly and asks the question that has been bothering her for years. Who is my father? Rosetta refuses to answer. Instead, she claims she found her in the gutter. But deep down, Abumchi knows that's not the truth, and this mystery becomes one of the biggest turning points in the movie. Enter Femi, the man who changes her life. At another part of the story, we meet Femi. Femi is a wealthy man who lives alone and clearly has emotional scars from past relationships. Women chase him constantly, but he refuses to commit to marriage again. Why? Because his previous marriage ended in betrayal. His wife cheated on him with his best friend, a doctor who had been helping them try to conceive a child. That betrayal destroyed his belief in love. So now he lives a life of emotional distance, refusing to marry anyone again. But fate has other plans. The runaway girl. One night, while Rosetta tries to send Abumchi away to work as a maid, the girl runs away from home. While running through the streets, she bumps into none other than Femi. At first, he believes she has been kidnapped, but when Abumchi explains the situation, he realizes something disturbing. This girl is running away from her own mother. Reluctantly, Femi allows her to spend the night in his house, and this moment marks the beginning of one of the most beautiful relationships in the movie. A child who just wants love. Inside Femi's house, Abunchi experiences something she has never experienced before: kindness, food, comfort, safety. For the first time in her life, someone speaks to her gently, and the contrast between her life with Rosetta and her experience with Femi is heartbreaking. She even jokingly asks him to adopt her. At that moment, it feels like a lighthearted joke, but later it becomes something far deeper. The shocking truth. Eventually, the truth comes out in one of the most dramatic scenes of the movie. Rosetta arrives at Femi's house, and during the heated confrontation, a shocking revelation is made. Femi actually belongs to Abumchi. Years ago, Femi and his ex-wife had tried to have a child through surrogacy. Rosetta was the woman chosen to carry the pregnancy. But when Femi discovered his wife's betrayal and left the country, the surrogacy arrangement was canceled. However, Rosetta was already 6 months pregnant. With nowhere to go and no support, she gave birth to Abumchi and raised her. That revelation changes everything. Suddenly, the audience understands Rosetta's bitterness, anger, and frustration. She didn't plan to become a mother. She was left with a child she never intended to raise. The emotional conflict. Even though Rosetta raised Abumchi, she never truly accepted her. And when she realizes Femi wants his daughter back, her mother advises her to demand money in exchange for the child. Rosetta initially asked for 30 million naira. Yes, 30 million. It's one of the most dramatic negotiation scenes in the film. But something unexpected happens later. Rosetta changes her mind. After reading Abumchi's diary and realizing how deeply she has hurt the girl, she decides to let her go, without collecting any money. That moment shows something important. Even though everything, Rosetta still has a conscience. The ending. Healing and forgiveness. In the final part of the movie, Abumchi begins a new life with her father. Femi promises to give her everything she deserves: education, love, and a future. But Abumchi doesn't forget Rosetta. Instead, she organizes a beautiful birthday surprise for the woman who raised her. It is one of the most emotional scenes in the entire movie. Rosetta breaks down in tears because no one has ever celebrated her like that before. And for the first time, mother and daughter truly connect. My honest thoughts about the movie. Mama and Me is not just a movie, it's a story about a